Hello, my name is Alan Hoover, and I'm here today to talk about the North American Free Trade Agreement, also known as NAFTA. We're going to start off by talking about what is NAFTA. In 1944, this agreement came about, and essentially what it is, it's a trade agreement between Mexico, Canada, and the United States. And what this did is this kind of laid the foundation for the 1990s strong economic growth and just the fair trade and the free trade between these three countries. And the whole reasoning behind this, it was created to eliminate the tariff barriers on a whole variety of different sectors. There's the agricultural, manufacturing, and they wanted to remove some of the investment restrictions. They also wanted to protect some of the different intellectual property rights. And then once this kind of came about and once this was established, this combined, all three of these economies combined measured about $6 trillion in the 1990s, and it directly affected over 365 million people. So there's some benefits and there's some downfalls, I guess you could say, of NAFTA. We'll start with the problems. And some of the big problems were the U.S. wages were kind of suppressed in certain industries. Got to make that clarification. And essentially what it was is some of the manufacturing companies and different people in that industry, they can now kind of move their efforts to Mexico and get cheaper labor. And so in the United States, you had to either join a union or try and lobby for different wage increases and whatnot, and it was really hard on your own. And then there was another disadvantage, and that was kind of for the Mexican farmers. They had, in Mexico, they obviously had different regulations around farmings and crops and different stuff like that. And they were higher in the United States, and it was hard for these Mexican farmers to, at the beginning, reach this different protocol and kind of hit the environmental guidelines. And then from 1994 to 2010, they kind of did like a 15 to 20 year stint. So the trade deficit was 97 billion, and there was also a little over 600,000 jobs kind of displaced from this transaction. They also kind of make a side note that during 2007, there was about 100,000 of these jobs were kind of displaced due to the financial crisis. And then there's obviously some big benefits of NAFTA. All three countries, aside from the manufacturing industry at the start, they increased kind of a wage increase. As you can see, Mexico was increased by quite exponentially, and Canada had a big rise as well, where the United States, they stayed stagnant for the most part, but there was still a little increase. And then obviously, since it's the free trade agreement, there was a large increase in the trades in goods and services between the borders. It made everything much more open. There was kind of less red tape. And you can see here that in 1993, there was 337 billion, and then